Hi, Sandra Wilson here. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and I'm doing a few videos in the run-up to the holiday season, Christmas. And I know that many women, especially if you're very anxious and you may have ADHD, Christmas and the holiday season can feel especially overwhelming because you might feel very sensitive to criticism, or you may have this internal pressure to please everybody, be everywhere all at once, get everybody the perfect gifts, or try to recreate Nigella Lawson in your kitchen. I don't know whether you've ever seen her show in the run-up to Christmas, but yeah, it is not realistic for 99.9% of women. And sometimes with the impending festive season, we can just feel that our nervous systems are pushing us into that survival state. And it's a time that, you just might want to just be with your families and relax and eat lots of nice food and maybe exchange some gifts without breaking the bank. But family dynamics can often feel very intense, especially if you have strong people-pleasing tendencies. And when I say that, what I mean is you want to make everybody happy, and that is just not possible. So you might start to notice that you're worrying already about whether people are going to like the gifts you've bought them. You might worry about disappointing others. You may worry about being judged or just not meeting everybody's expectations. And that creates so much anxiety, so much stress. And it isn't because, you're too sensitive. It's because, like I said before, your nervous system doesn't feel safe at a time of year when you would like to feel better, calmer, safer. And Christmas can be a very triggering time of year, and it is not joy for everybody. And you deserve to take that pressure off yourself. And I'm going to just give you a few little tips around how you can do that. And the first one, it's big, and it actually does begin with B, boundaries. So it's the two. So it's boundaries and expectations. So you have to learn to protect your boundaries. How can you say no with confidence? You might not want to go to tons of parties. You might not want to spend Christmas with that family member, and you're too scared to say no. You might just feel this intense pressure to, just go to all those parties. You may feel intense pressure to buy people things that you really, you can't afford to buy. You cannot please everybody, and learning to say no can be so hard, but practice small. You can just start to imagine yourself saying no. If you don't want to cook a meal for 12 people, do you really have to? If you don't want to spend Christmas with that person that really, really grates on you, you don't have to. And if you do have to, how can you manage expectations? So I know it can be really hard putting a boundary in place, but if you're in a position where you have no choice, how can you confidently adjust the expectations, especially with tricky family members, people who are expecting a lot from you? And it might be helpful to just grab a piece of paper and just get a few of your thoughts. It's a bit like a brain dump. What is bothering you? And how, if you could transport yourself to an ideal world, would you be spending Christmas? How can you communicate your wants and needs and say no more confidently? I sometimes find that getting things written down can be very, very helpful. And having those conversations well in advance. We've got, I think just under 4 weeks to go. Who do you need to speak to set those boundaries and manage those expectations without worrying that you are going to cause offence and they're never going to speak to you again. It's always a good place to start. Start early. Now, you may have seen the post that I made yesterday about an offer that I am just releasing, and I am offering a one-off hypnotherapy session. It can either be 60 minutes or 90 minutes, and it's designed to help you get to a place where you feel calm, in control and grounded as you approach the festive season. If you look at my pinned post on my page, you'll see a little bit more detail there, but you do not have to survive this season. And if you'd like me to help you to protect your boundaries, feel calmer and manage those expectations, please just send me a message and we'll just take it from there. Bye for now.